Stick around for your Thursday fishing report.
Woo! All right, guys, Thursday report. You can see I'm down here at Pass Harbor. It's probably blowing 25 knots this evening. It's Thursday, June 20th. This past week, we had a lot of high wind situations, had to do a lot of hiding from the wind. But when we were able to get a break from the wind, we had some pretty good fishing. I say pretty good. When I was on the fish, I mean I was on the fish. When I was out of them, I was out of them. And I'll tell you what the difference was this week. The difference was totally related to the algae in the water. We knew when the water got hot this summer with all the nutrients from the river water, from the Bonnie Carey, that we were going to have algae problems. And it's starting to show. There's been algae blooms around Cat Island, Louisiana Marsh, the whole west side of the Mississippi coast. And that's about as far as I think it's gotten now. I haven't heard any real reports. There's some dirty water and everything towards the Biloxi side, but I haven't heard of any algae blooms yet. If you've heard, leave me a message, let me know. I'd like to hear about it. But so what I'm saying is I would go to a spot and do extremely well on trout, and then a green algae line would move through, and that's a wrap. No fish at all came out of the green water. And so the key for me was to run, and find better water. And as soon as I would do that, the trout were starving to death, fishing plastics under a popping cork. I prefer the little slick, as I said last week. Maybe I'll do a demo of how I rigged that thing. Color, I kind of, in the clean water, there was a lot of shrimp around, so I used a cracked pepper or a shrimp type color for my baits, but I threw everything from chartreuse to pink. It didn't really seem to matter. The trout were very, very hungry and willing to feed if I put a bait in front of them. So Cat Island continues to produce good fish. The difference at Cat Island, guys, on the weekend, it's tough. As soon as you get 50 boats zooming around 2 feet of water over the grass beds, those fish get spooked and they tend to just stop. Or heaven forbid, you get a few bites going, the rod bends over, and next thing you know, there's 4 or 5 boats running right up on top of you. So just know there are good fish still at Cat Island, and try to get away from the crowd and see what happens. But it's tough fishing over there when it gets crowded. And have a little courtesy. You know, it's one thing to ease into an area on a trolling motor when somebody else is catching fish. It's an entirely different thing to crank up the big motor and run over there, or even come in there on the big motor while somebody's catching fish. That motor's extremely loud underwater. It is. Sound travels a lot better in water, and it doesn't take a lot of that big motor to scare those trout. Redfish, as you saw in the intro, redfish have showed up. I like to pick points where there's a drop off, either around the marsh or anywhere. It's the same kind of pattern. So if there's a point of land and there's a drop off nearby it, I like to fish live croakers on the bottom, and they just can't stand it. So a lot of big redfish showing up. I expect that pattern to continue all the way through, say, September at least. So have fun with that. They are much more tolerant of dirty water than trout. So if that's what you're looking for, you're looking to catch a few big fish, the reds have showed up in full force. So other than that, we had a lot of people subscribe to the channel this week. And I encourage all of y'all, ask some questions, leave us a comment, shoot me an email if you need to, boattrashcharters@gmail.com. Ask a question. We're happy to do some other videos. I'm already starting to put some stuff together where guys have asked for rigging or want to see the type of baits I talk about in the report video or things like that. So we're open to doing things that y'all want to see. That's what this is all about. So feel free, drop a comment, share the videos, get more people subscribed so we can do more things and share more information with you. Until next week, guys. Well, before that, weather, you see it now, it's blowing. We're having flip-flopping forecast. It's changing constantly, so we're just going to have to see how the weekend plays out. There's going to be some fishable weather between the wind, and we're just going to make the best we can out of it. So anyway, hit subscribe, leave us a comment, ask us a question, tell us what you want to see, and all I can tell you for sure is I'll be here next Thursday to give you the report.